What up, folks? It's your boy Tim, aka Chicago, in the corner. This is going to be an impromptu video of genuine sincerity. As you can see, the video is titled My Advice to Expeditors, but in reality, this video pertains to anyone who drives professionally, from the Uber driver to right on up to the over the road semi driver that's doing it for a living 24 hours a day. But before we get into the meat and potatoes of the video, I'm going to go ahead and ask that you do what I always ask. Go ahead and hit that subscribe, click on the notification so you can get these gems when I'm dropping them. Of course, I would love for you to go ahead and comment at the end of the video if you see something or hear something rather that you have a concern with or you want to get your opinion across. I do answer all comments. And if the comment is substantial, it could be featured in the next video. Like the video, hit like. Dislike the video, dislike. It helps the channel out. So I'm going to ask that you do that if you could. Okay, the video, my advice to expeditors. The reason I'm making this video is because things I've seen, things I've noticed, and things that I believe that are very important, or as they would say, things that need to be said. Okay, there's three things in this video. When you get behind the wheel, there are certain do's and don'ts. And I'm going to cover three of the don'ts that would pertain to us as professional drivers. Those are: do not drive sleepy, do not drive drunk or under the influence, and the last but not least is do not drive distracted. But this is not going to be one of your typical me trying to tell you what the hell to do because you're an adult. This is going to be some logic from an area whereas we may not think about this because we do it quite often. Out of those three don'ts, driving sleepy, driving intoxicated, and driving distracted, two of them in our industry are basically unavoidable. And what I mean by that is you can actually avoid driving intoxicated. You can avoid from driving under the influence, but you cannot avoid driving sleepy, and you cannot avoid driving distracted. This industry, for you to earn a decent living, there is no way you're going to get around sleep deprivation. You are going to drive sleepy. We all do it. We all will continue doing it. It is the only way you're going to make us a decent wage. Whether it's you driving too long, or you're driving on very little sleep, or you're about to go to sleep when a load comes in. That happens to everyone. It's in the industry. If you've been in the industry more than 3 months, you've probably driven sleepy. So there's no way to avoid that. Driving distracted is another. And the reason why I would say driving distracted is one, because there are a lot of ways to drive distracted where you probably do not think is considered driving distracted. Could be simply changing your radio station, or reaching down to pop in an MP3 in the USB drive, or just simply turning on the heat or the air condition. All of that takes your eyes off the road for a second. The difference is when we say driving distracted, we're generally talking about driving distracted in regards to how it applies to the law. And you rarely hear of anyone that's been disciplined by the law for changing their radio station while driving down the road. The reason I'm bringing this up in terms of expediting is because we do other things that a lot of normal drivers do not do. I'll start with one big one: eating. We all are on the move. We have time-sensitive loads, but we still have to eat. The normal everyday driver may go by McDonald's and they're driving down the road just simply eating out of a bag, eating fries, maybe drinking a soda. That actually can get you in trouble, but it rarely happens. But when it comes to expediting, that's not what I'm talking about. And we all do eat, we all do stop at a drive-through and grab something to eat and keep going. That's not the big deal. In expediting, it's not uncommon to see a kitchen in the passenger seat. I mean, it's not uncommon to see a full refrigerator and microwave on top of that in the passenger seat. It's one thing to be digging in a bag eating french fries driving down the road. It's another thing to be completely microwaving a full dinner while driving. And that's very common in the expediting world. In fact, you'll hear people say, I like to keep this here so I don't have to get in the back or stop to do it. And the reason why I'm making a video is because I actually seen someone on the highway swerving while using their microwave. So it's just my advice to expeditors. That would be one of them, and that's not even the biggest thing I'm going to talk about in this video. In fact, that is not the reason I made the video, but that is one that I seen recently, and I figured I would throw that in there. Is you shouldn't be microwaving or cooking dinner at 70 miles an hour. Happens a lot in this industry, and just a tip, it's certainly beyond any form of driving distracted that the average driver even knows anything about. Second thing is communication. We're on the road 10, 12, 15 hours straight. Communication happens. You're going to be getting caught. And the reason why I say you can't avoid driving distracted, dispatch calls you with loads while you're driving down the road all the time. You're going to tell me you're not going to answer any of those calls? You know, you're waiting on a load, or you're going down on the radar or something, hoping to bounce right back out. You're not going to answer that call when you see dispatch pop up on there. You're going to pull over to the shoulder every single time the phone rings. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to yourself. So we all drive distracted in this industry. But when I say communication, I'm not just talking about using the phone for phone calls. I'm talking about something that we probably would think normally is not happening, but it is. And that is filming yourself while driving. I mean, let's face it, we see a lot of America, and we are able to take beautiful pictures, some of the most beautiful sunsets, snow-capped mountains, Everglades, swamps. I mean, we are all over America. So it's not uncommon to want to take pictures and send home. I mean, if you're living in Ohio and you're in Miami, you're sending pictures home. They don't see palm trees in Miami. And if you're in Miami and you live in Miami and you're in Denver, they don't know what snow-capped mountains are like. So it's not uncommon to want to take pictures of things. But taking them while you're driving down the highway at highway speeds is obviously an extreme form of driving distracted. And certainly when it comes to filming yourself while doing that. And the reason I'm bringing up filming yourself is because there are quite a bit of drivers that are doing this, and not only doing it, but they're leaving the evidence behind for individuals like me to make videos. They are making, whether it's social media posts, being on Facebook, sending emails, and talking to the camera like I'm talking to you now. Obviously, I'm not in motion, but there are individuals that are making videos like this, and things are moving behind them. Not trying to start a video beef or anything like that, but it's come to my attention from others, and I'm sure you've probably seen this. And let's just face it, we all subcontract with an outfit. I mean, very few of us have our own company. So if you're caught, or if you're involved in an accident, let's say you're involved in an accident and you weren't filming yourself, you weren't microwaving dinner or anything like that, but you just happen to have 3 or 4 videos on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube of you filming yourself while driving. You think that's not going to come up? That this individual has a pattern of filming themselves while driving? I mean, it just could lead to extra additional scrutiny that you just do not need. And certainly it would cause you to lose any type of affiliation you have with whoever you're running loads for. So filming yourself while driving is probably a bad idea. But I'm making a video and I'm titling it My Advice to Expeditors because there are plenty of expeditors doing it. I'm sure there's truck drivers doing it, taxi drivers doing it, professional drivers of all types are filming themselves while driving. And when I say filming yourself, I don't mean putting a dash cam on your mirror and turning it around to face yourself. I mean, when I say filming yourself, you're driving down the road and you're literally glancing up at that camera while you're driving. You're making eye contact with it. And you're talking to it. You're having a conversation. It's not that you just, there's YouTube drivers for the safety of themselves. They use dash cams, but they're not talking to the camera. They're not staring in the camera. When you're having a conversation with the camera, it's hard to deny that you're not being distracted. So I'm just going to say from an advice standpoint that you need to think twice about doing that, because I made a previous video titled What's on the Internet is Forever. And what I mean by that is once you post videos of you on loads while driving, they are there forever. And like I said a moment ago, if you're involved in an accident, even if you're not doing this stuff, and they're able to find out that you had a habit of doing it in the past, it's probably going to cause you some problems. So I'd like to hear in the comments if you're willing to admit, have you ever done something this crazy? You know, do you know of anybody else that does something like that? And how would you feel if you know, if someone worked for you? Let's say you were a fleet owner and you found out somebody was doing that. But yeah, just to close this off, cap this one off real quick. My advice is be very cautious about, aiming a camera at yourself and talking to yourself while you're driving down the road, or reaching over to microwave your favorite meal while driving at high speeds. Someone see you take a plate out of a microwave while you're driving down the highway, it's going to be very difficult to say you're not driving distracted. So, did I play daddy? Did I do this one wrong? Let me know in the comments. Love to hear from you. Until then, as I say always, like, comment, subscribe. Talk to you later.